The sun's down, the soldering iron's hot, and you know what that means. Welcome to Night School, where the zip ties are tight, the code is questionable, and the LEDs never sleep. Hosted by the one and only Bobby, the professor of Pixel Mayhem. We're diving deep into lighting tips, tech fails, sketchy workarounds, and the secrets nobody teaches until now. Whether you're mapping props at midnight or just here for the chaos, this is your crash course in RGB enlightenment. So grab your beverage of choice and remember, there's no syllabus, no rules, and no guarantee we'll make it out with all our fingers. This is Night School.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Night School. Tonight we're going to have Kyle Mirsky on, who's going to be showing us about AI. This is a topic that I personally am a little afraid of. I've watched documentaries. I've seen Terminator. I know how this all ends. It's scary, but he's going to try and make it so that it's not so scary. And here he is. Hey, Carl. You're muted. Carl, you're muted. You muted yourself, sir.
Somehow I lost this. Somehow I lost the screen. Go figure, right? AI technology at its worst, right? That happens all the time, right?
Skynet's listening.
It happens. All right, let me go back here.
Just you know, I welcome our computer overlords.
Yes. Let me see here. Did I share? Did I not share? Let's see. Am I sharing? I don't know if I'm sharing. Let's see.
Carl, how's it been though?
Wait a minute. Hey, hang on. Where'd the sharing button go? Where is that sucker? I was sharing before. Where'd it go? Where'd that go, Bobby? Share screen. There it is. All right. Share screen. Hang on. We'll just do this one. You should see a blank screen. There we go. All right. Perfect. All right. Okay. What was the question? Sorry.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing? No, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been crazy. I know we haven't talked in a while, and I just like everybody else, right? So, November came, and everybody is setting up for their displays like we are. Had a little bit of a hiccup, and every time, again, you try to plan everything works out. Rented a lift to do the roof on the house, and they delivered it. Everything's great. Go to fire it up, and it's not working like it's supposed to. Turns out it's got a problem with it. Go figure, right? So lost time there, but we kind of got things going. We're still able to get some done. So hopefully everybody else is getting their displays set up and preparing. I've seen a lot of people actually with the displays, and they're starting earlier this year. So
I've seen a lot where it looks like they're ready for the light fight.
And getting ready for the light fight. Yes, we can neither confirm nor deny, but it is what it is. So, but what we're here to talk about tonight is, and thank you, Bobby, for inviting me, is talking about AI, artificial intelligence, and we're going to talk about generative AI specifically. So, I encourage everyone to ask questions. I encourage folks to go ahead, and we'll be dropping some things. I may ask for, if you want to comment, for maybe a plug here and there. If we want to put in a prompt, I may ask for a prompt. This is kind of, I know it's not a typical, interactive session, but I think from a school perspective, and night school being what it is, I think it's important to have you folks, and I don't want to use the word students, but people who come here to learn more. I think it's important to engage. So please add your comments. Please make sure, if you have anything to add, go ahead and share it. Because what I want to get out of this, and I think what everybody does, is AI's been around for a long time. Bobby, I'm sure that you use it quite a bit. Whether you know it or not, you use it.
Oh yeah.
And again, I know that usually this is, hey, I'm teaching and here's Bobby, and Bobby goes away. But I think it's important, right? Because it shows that we all use AI. So for the next however long we're here, the conversation is going to stream around what is AI, and it's going to be kind of basic, maybe some mid-level stuff, but really the whole point of this particular episode is to kind of get folks who are either new to using AI and some of the tools, or maybe want to learn more about the tools or what's out there. That's my goal for this, right? Is to really show you how I use it, what I use it for, and then what you can use it for, and you may use it for different things. So we're going to start out with, again, kind of a little bit of history and background, and then kind of delve into some of the tools that are out there. Not everything, but some of the ones that I use and some of the ones I think that have become more pervasive in the marketplace. So with that, you're going to see a blank screen here, which will be filled with stuff here eventually. So first of all, let's talk about what AI is and what AI isn't. Right. So typically, where are my notes? See, I have notes and my notes aren't showing up. There we go. Okay, perfect. All right, so what is artificial intelligence? And specifically, we're talking about generative AI, because there's several different types of AI. Okay, by definition, artificial intelligence is designed to produce output, especially text or images, requiring human intelligence. Sometimes we don't have all of that, typically by applying machine learning techniques in large collections of data. Okay, so you're going to hear the term large language model, and that's what that means. So historically, it has AI kind of started, believe it or not, back in the 1930s and 40s, and it progressed from there. Obviously, it's not what it was today, but if folks are familiar with the name of Alan Turing, especially during World War II, he actually broke the code for the Enigma machine, and he was also one of the inventors, I guess, of artificial intelligence. And then it kind of progressed from there to what we see it now, right? AI is everywhere. It's in our phones, it's in our computers, we use it at work. I think pretty much every major corporation now uses some form of artificial intelligence and encourages it. Obviously, not without some copyright legal issues, which we'll talk about a little bit. But for the most part, over the past, I think AI kind of ballooned back during, from, I'd say, probably 2020 on. Then we went through an interesting time where folks were more at home than they were working in the office space, and AI really took on a whole different dimension there for a lot of reasons. So what we're going to talk about a little bit is, first of all, AI is, again, what it is. It is machines. It's computers. There's nothing different about AI than any other computer language, computer-generated information, except for the fact that by definition, or by some people's definition, it can learn. Computers learn. Computers can take data, and it can manipulate that data into other constructs. Typically, those are the large language models that you hear. That streamed out of from the 80s, where they had neural networks and they started building those. So really, you could say that it's learning, and it does. It takes data in its general form. These large language models, they ingest tons of data, petabytes of data, and of course, maybe you've heard some legal cases on that. And then it takes those and it tries to remember what it has. So every piece of data that goes in there, every time you use Alexa, anytime you put in a chat or a search, if you use some of the tools like ChatGPT or Gemini, which we'll talk about, we'll delve into that. It takes that data and it stores it, and the next time it sees the same phrase or word, it's going to use that to build what it is you're looking for. And so most of those tools use that data, and we are talking, massive amounts of data. Data centers are being built just to be able to store and process AI data, and you can read about that in the news. It's huge. They're building a new data center out where I live, as a matter of fact. So I'm sure that everybody has seen that somewhere, where these data centers are just cropping up. Data centers, the downside of artificial intelligence is they consume resources, they consume power, they consume water. Basically, more resources, less jobs. Why? These data centers are typically unmanned. They call them lights out. They're lights out data centers. They have very few maintenance folks. The major companies like Amazon and Microsoft and Google, all of their cloud environments, they store and manage all of this data in their data centers primarily. Huge, huge, huge. I mean, and the power consumption, you can look up and see, for folks that have seen some of their residential power bills go up. Some of that is directly attributed to the AI landscape that we're seeing now. So I don't want to bore you a whole lot with any more of this, but I think it's important to understand that, with great power comes great responsibility. And, the whole law of averages on AI, it's just exploding. Jobs, which once people said, oh, you can get a job, you take a class and learning how to do prompts. It's more than that, right? And so if you're into IT, and if you look at what some of the jobs are coming up with some of these major corporations and cloud service providers, AI jobs are becoming more and more prevalent. It is the wave of the future, and at this point in time, there doesn't appear to be any stopping it. So with that said, I think what we're going to look at is some of the tools. Really, just what do I use it for? What do we use it for? So let's talk a little bit about. Before I get into that, there's a phrase that came up, and I think that this is kind of when I started using AI a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago. It came up, and I don't remember who said it. I didn't get the reference, but it says AI doesn't replace creativity; it amplifies it. And I think that's the key takeaway: is computers still don't create anything, but they amplify what it is we need. Is AI going to take over our jobs? I can't answer that question. Some people say it can. Some people say there's no chance it's going to. But like anything else, there will be some jobs that will be run by AI. I mean, there's just no way around that. And I think that's a good thing, because I think that that gives everybody more areas to focus on, to learn more instead of doing some of the menial tasks, to do bigger and better things and to become a greater society. So let's talk about the different things that we can do with AI, right? I mean, we can do several things. We can do image creation, which I'm sure you've all seen that. And we'll talk a little bit about with a tool called Midjourney and Firefly. And then we'll get into the newest one, which is, if you've heard the term Nano Banana. If you haven't heard Nano Banana, we're going to show you Nano Banana. There's video generation. Not really going to get into a whole lot of the video because, again, although a lot of these sites, these AI sites, give you free trials and free tiers, it's not a whole lot. The video tier is probably it's like going to Vegas, right? The worst table stakes out there is pretty much the way the video is. You get credits. A lot of the AI, as you go out there, they try before you buy. They give you credits, or you can purchase credits. And instead of getting unlimited images and unlimited video and unlimited music, you may get, 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 60 minutes or so many generations. So there's a cost to it. It's certainly not free. Although there are some free tiers out there to kind of get you interested and used to it. All right. We'll talk a little bit about voice. I do audio work. So I do a lot of audio imaging work. AI has come into the space from an audio perspective, for voiceovers, for doing, audio, for commercial work. And I'll talk a little bit what makes it great and what makes it not so great, right? Very balanced. I'm very non-biased with any of this, because the more these tools come out, the more it helps us. So there's tools out there. Music generation. Music, that's a big thing, right? There's several out there. There's a bunch. I say several. There's hundreds. There's probably thousands now of these tools out there. Most of them aren't mainstream, and they're all based of the same technologies, right? So DALL-E, or in the case of you'll hear about Gemini, Google Gemini. A lot of these image AI sites, they're based on Gemini, right? But they use it. They have what they call APIs, which is an application program interface, which you can tie directly into their systems. Again, as we go into doing what we're doing here, I try to stay away from anything that's copyrighted, anything that's owned by other people. I will say there have been some legal cases about AI and these companies, especially I won't name them, but that they used other companies' images, other companies' images to build their large language model, to build their library, and there probably are still ongoing court cases about that. So at the end of the day, anytime you're using AI to generate music, to generate audio, to generate video and pictures, who owns those rights? That's still to be determined. Companies are getting smarter now with how you can use stuff, say, for commercial work, or who owns what you create. Is it the AI company, the vendor? Is it you? Is it somebody else? I can't answer that. I'm certainly not an attorney, but I do get a lot of legal advice on these things because I do use them in my own work. But at the end of the day, you got to be careful, right? You can't create an image, and everybody knows Disney, right? Disney is probably one of the premier companies for suing everybody. Somebody uses their images. If you create an image and you produce and you market an image that is considerably like an image that Disney owns, you can pretty much assure you will get a phone call, a letter, or multiple thereof with probably somebody with the title of Esquire after it. So just keep that in mind. Excuse me. That's pretty much it, right? At a high level, I still think AI is fun. There's a lot you can do with it. So again, I'm going to go through some of the tools that I use, that you can use. You can use them today. You can use them, most of them for free, and then we'll go from there. So let's start with, I'm going to start with one that most people probably have heard or familiar with, which is ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT, I'm going to pull this guy back over here so you guys don't get multiple images. ChatGPT is really used at the end of the day for doing a lot of different things, right? And as you can see over here, I've been using it for just thoughts, for creating different ideas, right, that I build into some of the product that I produce. There's also ChatGPT tools out there that you can find, that you can use, that you can download. ChatGPT is free. I basically have I have this one here. I have a free tier, and I use it a lot. There's no reason for me, for what I do, really, to upgrade to have a higher tier. If I go here and I do an upgrade, they all give you this, right? Upgrade for free. Yeah, I can upgrade for free. I can get GPT-5, limited file uploads, slower image. I don't care if the image generation is slow or not, right? Limited memory and context, limited deep research. I'm not using it for doing research today. There's other tools out there. Plus, right now, it looks like you can get Plus. Starting December 9th, ChatGPT Plus will continue at $20 a month. Again, cost versus value. If you are a person, and again, individual who uses this, and I'm not going to get into, you've got to look at, every company is going to have their legalese, right? What can you do with this, right? So if for right now, you could get it for free. They get you hooked, and all of a sudden in December, you get that $20 hit. But look what you get: expanded messaging, expanded memory, deep research, Sora video, which Sora is one of the main video generators out there that people creating video. Codex agent. If you use these things, great. $200 for professional. I don't know anybody who would actually pay $200 a month, but maybe they have a use for it. Again, it's value versus cost. Here again, their business tier. You get the business tier, and the business is $25 per month, and typically that's per person, right? Per users for 2+ users, billed annually. So if you choose with this one, it's going to be $50 a month, so $600 a year, basically, right? But you can write it's a business expense, $600 a year. Why anybody would do this and not go with the business? Hey, this is $2,400 a month. Why would I not go with the business? Get yourself an LLC for $75 or whatever your state costs. Set up an LLC, and then you can buy the business license. So what can I do with ChatGPT, right? Let's go back over here, right? What can I do with this? I can pretty much do anything. I can ask it anything, and sometimes it'll give you prompts. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT a simple thing here is, generate a 30 second, if I could spell, radio ad for the professional triers podcast. Okay, professional triers, they sponsor Night School. Let's see what it says. Okay, now it's giving me something here. All right. So this is what it comes up with. It probably doesn't even, it's looking at it. It's going, okay, professional triers. Okay, the show where epic fans, wild ideas, and outrageous experiments turn into pure entertainment gold. I have no idea where it's coming up with that. But here, from holiday light shows gone rogue to DIY disasters. We'll test it, breaks it, probably set something on fire. This is really interesting, right? When ChatGPT first came out, and this is where products evolve, when ChatGPT first came out, they didn't know anything prior to a particular year, and I think it was like 2000 or something like that. And then all of a sudden they broke out and they got more information. Never really talked about it, but all of a sudden now, here we go, Professional Triers Podcast. Failing professionally since day one. Well, okay, I don't know if that's their tagline. I think right now we're professionals, but it comes up with some different things, right? Now let me create a holiday version. So I'm going to say, create a holiday version. Okay, so now it's going to go out there, it's going to take what it did, and it gives me stuff in the background. Remember, I'm creating a radio ad. Music, here's the music you want to have in there. Oh, look, here's the announcer, here's the co-host. Boom, 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 boom. Is it perfect? No, but can you add on top of it? Yes, there's a lot of things you can do with ChatGPT. I know you can do imaging with ChatGPT. I'm not really going to get into that because there's other tools to do that. I can do a comedy promo for it, right? For social media. I mean, you can pretty much ask it anything. And I think that's where the interaction on these type of courses is interesting, because I don't have all the things. I know what I ask it to do. But I'm always interested to see what other people would throw in here, just to kind of see what other things we can come up with. But you can pretty much ask it anything and it will come back. That's just for the plus, right? So I can say, provide a summary of the history of AI. Right? Boom. And it's going to go out there and it's going to pull what it knows. And here's what it says. Boom. Remember I said Alan Turing. Here's going to go through the different eras. So you can use this. Is it perfect? They're always going to say ChatGPT can make mistakes. It has made mistakes. I've asked it questions before and it's come up with a completely different answer. And then I've asked it again and it fixes itself. It says, oh, that may not be true. Here's really what it is. So I think that ChatGPT, here we go. I took this, right? I get a summary. Now it says, can you make this into a 1-minute spoken version? Sure. Give me 60 seconds. And now it's actually creating a script for me. So I could use this for anything I wanted to, right? So if I wanted to use this as kind of a promo for, say, this class, right? I could use this. It's interesting because when I did this one, I kind of just, Bobby said, can you give me something to work with? And I just kind of went out there and I did. I went to ChatGPT and I did a couple of tries and I said, okay, and I had to make some changes to it. I think you're never going to, don't ever take what's in there and copy paste, because you got to read it. You got to make it yours, right? I'm going to stop here for a second and say, if you haven't seen in the news, the education system has become challenged with people using AI to do work. As AI gets smarter, students are going out there and using AI to generate their own work. Teachers have several ways to identify AI generated work. They look for similarities, they look for commonalities, but the tools are getting better. And students being who they are, they find ways around the system. So as the technology gets smarter and people use the technology for good and for not so great things, back before we had all of this technology, if anybody remembers back in the 80s and maybe in the 90s, but back in the 80s, we didn't have all of this, but we had to do reports. And when we did reports, we had to go to the library and we had to use references. And sometimes you would try not to make all the references and try to sound you were smart, like you were smarter than you were, and you would get caught, right? So there's no difference. It's just the technology's changed. So again, that's ChatGPT. I'll show you kind of some of what I found too. So we'll talk about this. Will Ferrell, there's a tool out there for Will Ferrell to speak, right? An image generator. So let's go to the image generator, right? Let's look and see what the image generator does. So create a portrait of a fictional character. Let's see. So now it wants to say, hey, send me some more, right? Give me some more information. Before I do that, Bobby, are there any comments so far? Anybody got any questions or comments?
No, there's no comments.
Okay, so it makes me sad. I'm sad. Oh, I'm not really sad. That's fine. So here, what it wants to do is it wants to say, hey, I want to do this. Tell me more about the character. So we're going to say this is Santa at the beach in Australia. I probably didn't spell it right, but it'll fix it for me. I didn't spell it right. Let's see if it knows what I'm saying. Because again, it's smart. It's probably so many people have. I may be the only one who pasted it wrong. But again, if I put something in there wrong, and it takes a while, so we'll come back to that. But there's a cost to it, right? So in the free tier, I think I can do like a couple of these, and then it decides to tell me, we're sorry, you don't get any more video generations. You can see here, at least in this version of ChatGPT, it's very slow in creating images. So I typically don't use it for image generation, but it can generate an image. It'll come back over here when it's done. And then I won't get into the Will Ferrell. This one was kind of interesting, right? And we'll talk a little bit about the music, right? When we get into the music, this tool here, the gentleman who wrote this tool, it actually helps you create a prompt for tools like Suno and Udio. Because again, like anything else, all these tools are based on prompts. So you generate a prompt like what I'm doing. You can make it as simple or as detailed as possible. And then, so I'm just going to hit this one. Let's see. Can you create a country song for my wife's 30th birthday? She's beautiful, thoughtful, and loves yoga. Okay. So now what it's doing, and when we get into this, it's actually generating the prompt. Now it doesn't say what tool, right? So there's different tools. So it might be whatever tool this is using. It might very well be that it may not work exactly like this, but look, it's already put in a verse, it's already put in a chorus, it's already picked out the music, and it said, here's what you want. Do you want to do this as a duet? So again, I think it's very, very intuitive that you can do this now on your own, right? And of course, while we're waiting, it's still trying to generate the character portrait. So we're going to leave this. We'll come back to it. Okay. So again, it's not very fast. It's not designed to do that. It's still fairly new in their space. So let's move on to something else. So we're going to move on. I know, we're going to go to a tool called, if you bear with me a second here, Midjourney, which I'm sure you all have heard about Midjourney. Now in Midjourney, there is a Discord. That's how it started. It started off in Discord. So if you're not familiar with Discord, Discord is primarily used by gamers. But a lot of these companies have used it because there's chat features, because they can really bring in those that audience because they're used to using it. Recently, and I've used it for now a couple of years in Discord, and then I was told, hey, you can do it in the web version and it's faster. Whether it is or not, I don't really know if it's faster or not. But let's see, right? I have no idea what I created in here, so let's all see. But these are some of the things that people have created, right? I think and all of these images right here that you're seeing on the screen, all of these images are AI generated based on prompts. So, and these are and if some of you have seen some of the ads and some of the things that are coming up on Facebook and even on TV, it's getting harder and harder to tell what is AI and what is not. I will say, though, be careful. Some of these sites, they do have some not safe for work or very close not safe for work when you're going through them. So just kind of be careful. Like I said, I go through these and with the audience that you're with. So again, because everybody's using this for everything. There's a plethora of ideas you can come up with, right? But every single one of these is AI generated. So let's go into create, right? Let's create an image. You can see that these are some of the prompts here that people have done, right? Actually, some of these I did going down to here. I did these for some work I was doing. Here I said 11-piece candle in the image of Yankee Candle. It just created that, and it allowed me to make it motion. So I'm going to show you how to do that, right? So we're going to go through this, and I'm going to say, and in this particular case with Midjourney, in the Discord version, and I'll show you that really quick. In the Discord version, there we are. Okay. There we go. So there's and Discord actually it's pretty cool because they give you the opportunity if you go into Midjourney by itself, right, in Discord, and you sign up for it, and you get these rooms, right? So they put you in these rooms, they're general rooms. So everything you generate would go into basically one of these rooms. And they do some other stuff too. So a lot of times people want to show off. They want to do their, they want people to see some of the stuff they can generate. And because it's become so pervasive out there, people are use this for everything. And I can tell you that if you look here, so this is a person who's generating these different images for whatever purpose, right? And all they're doing is they're putting in these prompts. Now, the difference with this, and I'm not going to go through all of these. So here, this is an interesting one. I'm just picking this one at random. Queen Marie Antoinette in I can't even pronounce that, in a portrait dynamic pose, Versailles Gardens, windy and sunny day, 8K, ultra high definition, aspect ratio. So these are codes, right? Aspect ratio 2:3, right? Most of the time when I do images, I do 16:9. And the reference. So you can reference another image. So one of the challenges of image creation in AI is it forgets what you just did, right? So you're going to create something and it's going to forget. It goes on to the next thing. With ChatGPT, with Midjourney, with Midjourney, you actually go in there and you reference the prior picture because you're trying to get a similar picture. So you'll notice here, it'll go in there and it'll give me that reference, which each image is going to have. And so it says use this, and then to create another image. So basically, you can create similar images, but again, the technology is not perfect. It certainly isn't perfect, and I think that as we go through, I can't tell you what's in here. I don't know, but there's different rooms here. So if you ever want to play with it, see what other people have done, right? Some of them can get a little risky. I'm not saying that's not. I never know what you're going to see, but you get ideas, right? So the basic way that you do it, and what they give you, though, is they give you the opportunity to generate your own server, which is very unique. So everything I create in my own server. I do it in my own space. It doesn't get posted publicly like all the other rooms, which is great, right? Because I do a lot of work, and I'm not that good at it, right? So I do very simple prompts because I'm not looking for anything very fancy. And to be honest, if you go out there and you start looking at how to generate prompts, you could see prompts that are going to be this big. You don't need all that. At some point, I will liken it to X-Lights, where once you get down to so many layers of effects, it almost gets lost in the translation. And I think with any of these image generators, it can do the same thing. So when you're creating a image in Midjourney, at least in Discord, you have a forward slash, right? And forward slash actually tells it I want to do something. So here it gives me some options. It says I want to create an image, or I want to mix a picture with a random video template. I want to create a video, which we'll talk about. I want to blend images together. So I want to take two images and make them one, right? So that means bring in an image. Or I can do different things. So it basically tells me it's a command line. It's a command prompt, right? So in this case, you can see there's so many things I can do with it. But for now, all I'm going to do is, I'm going to type in imagine. So that it knows I want to generate an image. And so once I do that, now it's going to ask me for the prompt here, right? So since somebody, see, William, I like the snowman. Okay. Which I'm not sure which snowman, so forgive me. All right, so let's
AI generated snowman.
Oh, okay. So perfect. So let's generate and I have no idea. Like I said, everyone's going to be different. So let's do that. Let's see. A snowman. Help me out here, Bobby. A snowman in the middle of summer. Let's see. In the style Pixar. We'll use Pixar. And I'm just going to make it very simple, just in the style of Pixar, and I'm not going to add anything else, right? Let's see what it comes up with. So typically I have the lowest model. I think it's like $5 a month or something like that, or $10 a month. I think it's like $10 a month for the lowest subscription. And so you get so many images that are generated fast. All right, let's see what it comes up with. So this is what it thinks in the style of Pixar. It thinks, well, that's pretty good, right? That's a simple prompt, and I can build off of that. So like I showed you before, if I chose to use one of these images, and I'll make it bigger. If I chose to use one of these images, it's kind of funky, right? Let's say that I like number 4, but I want to do a variation on it. So I go in here. V means variation. U means upscale. We'll talk about that. I go in there. I'm going to do a variation just of 4. So now it's going to generate a variation. It's going to give me several options to choose from. Again, it's in fast mode, and let's see see if it comes up with something different. Okay, so it came up with something a little different. So again, maybe I've got to give it more information, but the point is that I can start with this, or I can change them all. Right? I can make them all the same thing. But let's say that now I want to use this image, right? Let's say this is the image I want to use. I like it. This guy here, he's pretty cool. Yep, that's the snowman I want. He's going on vacation. I don't know why his luggage at the beach in the snow. But okay, so I can upscale that. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm upscale. This goes in this order, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to upscale to, now I save it as an image. So now it's going to generate that image the way that it is. Now, here's the cool part. This is new. So now I have an image of a snowman. What can I do with it? Well, I can go here and I can save it. Save the image, right? Boom. It's going to tell me where I want to save it. I didn't save it. Let's say that, but you can do all kinds of different things with it. All right. I had some other stuff. I was working on some pirate stuff. But now I can animate it. Whoa, cool, right? I can actually make this thing move. That uses a lot of credits. So it's going to, when I do that, it sucks up a lot of credits and it limits. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to say animate low motion. It takes a minute to do it. So while we're there, let's go back to, let's see, are we still in ChatGPT? Probably not. I'll have to go back to ChatGPT and let's see the image it created. But so now what it's doing is it's still going through, and it's animating, which does take a while, right? It's actually going to animate this. So let's see what it does. What did it do there? It should have animated it. Oh, it's still working. Okay. So it's still working. It says video here, motion low, video. So you can actually create video. I think they use like VEO is what they use. That's their video site. So what it's doing is it's going through and it's actually generating what would be a GIF, right? Yes, I say GIF, not GIF. It's not like Jiffy peanut butter. It's GIF, like in gift. It starts with a G. It's a GIF. Okay. So what it's doing is it's creating a low motion image, which again, this is cool, right? Because I can take this and use this in anything I want to. So we'll get back to that in a second. I want to go back to, did it do it yet? There we go. Okay. I'm going to see what it did. So it created him actually, well, I don't know what he's got going on here. He's melting, I think. But it just got him moving around. And whatever's going on with his hat, who knows? The point is that I've just now created an image out of a picture or a video out of a picture, and I can use this in whatever I want to. I can extend it. I can make it longer. I can reanimate it, right? Depending upon the prompts it gives me. High motion, it can move it. So I'm going to go up to here, and I want to show you this, and then we'll move on to something else. So this was something I was working on before, and this is, again, the pirate stuff, right? So I did the Kraken with a pirate ship, different images here, and I said, hey, take this picture. I like the Kraken coming out. There's the pirate ship. Animate it. What did it give me? It gave me this. That's just like that without any other prompts. It decided what it was going to do. So, and you can make it longer. You can extend it. Now, we talk about having to use the prompt here, right? Going back to the web version. There we go. You don't have to do that. In the web version, you just say what I want to imagine. So, a pirate ship, right? Pirate ship with a Kraken. Okay. And so, again, and then we'll go on to another tool, right? I know this is long, but I hope you guys are getting something out of this. I find it interesting. I find it fascinating. And I hope you do too. So now I didn't tell it anything else. I just said a pirate ship. I didn't say make it photorealistic. I didn't say do anything else except give me a Kraken with a pirate ship. It already figured out the aspect ratio. It does some of these other prompts you can use, and you can learn about those, right? And in future show, I mean, you can look these up on YouTube. There's thousands of videos, but I can work you through it, right? So again, I can animate it. I can change. I can make variants of it. I have no idea what's going on there. Again, you got to you get what you pay for. Okay, so that's Midjourney, right? So those are a couple of the image generators. We'll kind of save the best for last. But now let's go on to, again, let me find my notes here. Let's talk a little bit about, if you're good with image, because I want to get back to it. There's Adobe Firefly. So if you have Adobe subscription, you can get Firefly, which is one of the newer ones. They do generative fill, which a lot of them are doing now. So what generative fill does is it'll take a picture. You could take a picture. So if I took a picture of this girl, let's go, because I didn't create this. I don't know who this is. But if you take a picture of this girl, right, here, and then you can, what was it? Where was I going with this one? Sorry. Where was I going with this one? Bobby, I don't remember.
Yes, Phil.
Oh, Phil. So, right. So I could take, if this was an image, like this image here, right? Let's say that this image here was this guy walking down the street and I wanted to expand this, right? I could actually do generative fill. I could say expand the image, and Firefly's really good about that. I could say expand the image. It would actually generate additional image outside of the space of this picture. It's really cool, and I can show that in one of the tools called Gemini, because I think it's really cool. It's a really cool use of it. But there's so much here. We're scratching the surface. I'm just showing you in a few minutes what I use it for and what you can do with it. So this is kind of a cool stylized version of a pirate ship. I think there's a Kraken right over here. So it basically didn't know what I wanted, so it created a couple different options for me. That's kind of interesting. I mean, but again, this is just basic 101. All right. Again, I'm not really going to talk about video because video is more. Again, I don't really have any video subscriptions, and most of them, the video's kind of basic, and it takes forever to do it. Let's talk a little bit about music and song generation, right? So I don't know how many of you have ever heard or tried to do video or do audio, but let's talk about a couple of ones out there. First of all, there's Suno, right? So with Suno, you can create your own songs, right? Again, you go in there and there are tons of people who've created their own songs. You can create songs with lyrics. You can create your own lyrics. You can create just instrumental with no lyrics. I mean, it's fascinating. So when you go in here, let's see if I got it in here, library. Again, I'll show you this. Oh, look at this. So if you want the Premier plan, $24 a month. And that's if you pay for it yearly. Otherwise, if you go monthly, it's $30. So if you don't know what you're going to use it for, you start off with the basic, start off with free, whatever. And then if you say, hey, I'm going to use this all the time, with a caveat, right? So if you're generating music for yourself, that's great. And Udio works the same way, right? And some people like Udio, some people like Suno. There's a bunch of others out there. Those are the two that I'll go back and forth with. Well, let's say I want to create something really quick. So again, I've created some over here. I kind of threw them out there, right? So let's say I want to, so I can do custom. So custom says I can add my own lyrics. I can put my style on here. It really gets me down into the nitty gritty, right? But for the sake of this, again, if you want to upgrade for V5 for $8 a month, you can do that, right? Again, there's a cost to it. So, but let's just say that, and I can also use my own audio, by the way. If I want to bring in my own audio, there's a fee for that. But let's just say I want to create a Christmas song about nothing. Okay, I want to create a Christmas song. Let's just kind of like Seinfeld. Whoop. Let's go ahead and do that right. And audio. Oh, no, I don't have my own audio. I'm not going to do lyrics. Let's do this as a what do you think here? I don't know, Bobby. What do you think? Let's do this as let's do Future Fusion. I like that. So a Christmas song about nothing, Future Fusion. It's already got it for me. That's all the prompts I get in the basic. Let's see what it comes up with. I don't know if you can hear this or not. I don't know if I'm sharing if it'll come out through. Oh, look, it gives me a preview, and it also gives me the ones that I can use, right? So, Bobby, I don't know, does sharing also share audio from the computer? I don't know.
That I don't know.
All right, let me know if you hear... Well, let me know if you hear this, first of all. I'll play this. Did you hear that?
I heard some music, yes.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to, I don't know how loud it was, so I apologize for that. Let's turn the volume down just a little bit on
Although
that.
it wasn't loud.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
It might have been coming through somewhere. All right, so I don't like that. But I said future, right? All right. All right, so I don't like any of those, right? So I just picked that. So now let's just say this as country. Let's make it a country song. Because everybody loves country, right? I mean, I can't think of anybody who doesn't. All right, so let's create that. And it gives you so many generations, again, based on your subscription. You get so many per day, pretty much. Oops, let me go back into here, see what's going on. All right. So again, now it's going to go back here. And again, if I want to use the new version, there's a nominal fee for that. Udio works the same way, right? So I like Udio better actually for doing some other stuff, but Suno's gotten better. They all basically build off of the same back end. They get better and better. Let's see. And as it's creating, you can actually listen to it, which is kind of cool, right? So let's see. And it even gives me the lyrics. I mean, that's pretty darn cool. I didn't even tell it anything. Just a Christmas song, a country Christmas song. Let's see what the other one came out as. Wait, that was it. Sorry.
Yeah, it is hard to hear. It's very faint.
Huh?
It's very faint
What,
for us
Bob?
here. That I hear.
Oh,
I
sorry.
hear very faint.
But again, I think the point is I'm not sure how to get the audio up from there onto here. But the point is that you can create your own music. So go ahead and check it out. Go ahead and try it. Again, it's creating lyrics for me. If you don't like the lyrics, you can go in and change them. You can edit them. So you can go into the tool. If like here, it's not going to let me use V5 unless I upgrade, right? But I can go into here and I can add it to the queue. I can share it. I can remix and edit it, right? So what that means is I can make changes to it. Obviously, again, do I have the right subscription for it? So they used to let you go ahead and do that. Now, I guess because it's not finished yet, it won't let me do that. So you can create your own music. I mean, it's that simple, and they give you several different options. And if you don't like it, you can regenerate it. Every regeneration, again, there's a cost to it. So I'll show you that. I'll show you Udio. Udio is the same thing. A little bit different. Udio partners with United Music Group, blah, blah, blah. Get things downloads. Thank you, support. Paid plans will receive 1,200 total monthly credit limits, 1,000. Okay. So in other words, they sold out, right? I'll just tell you they sold out. That's what they did. Everybody does. They take and they're into making money. That's why they do this. It costs money. So, again, I think what you're going to find is, there. What you're going to find is they're basically about the same. And again, you cannot. The same thing here. So you notice this, right? You can use a style. You can create your own song. They give you a lot of choices here, right? But if you don't have the right subscription, you can't use it for commercial use. So if you're just generating for yourself, for your own displays, nobody cares. But if you're getting ready now and you want to sell this and you want to market it as part of a sequence and you want to use this music, this goes back into the legal issues, right? You have to have the right subscription model to do that. And in there, they tell you what that is. So again, not going a whole lot because you couldn't really hear much of it anyway. They're all about the same, right? They're all going to give you the same, the same level of access. Here's something cool. Playground. Choose a voice on the left, pick a style on the right, describe the lyrics, and start creating your song. So you can know, here we go. All right, if you want to say, let's do rock. We could do I don't, okay, and let's do. I have any idea what any of this is, but we'll just say Crash Rock. It gives you an example of what it sounds like. I actually like Crash Rock. I'll take that. I know you can't. I know you can't really hear it. Pick a style on the right. We'll do rock. No kidding, right? Let's say the corner. Okay, we'll do the corner. Describe the lyrics. Something about Bobby at Christmas. Okay, and again, it's going to go in there and it'll create a song. Don't know how long it's going to take. The magic's happening. So again, another tool, another set of tools for you to do. You could pretty much put anything in there. You can create anything, and you can choose it to be public. You can choose it to be private. It's really up to your imagination. Again, you pay for credits. You use your credits. You can upgrade. Here's what it says: you get 10 credits a day, 100 a month. Blah 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 blah. It tells you when your credits are going to refresh. How do you earn free credits, etc. So they're all going to be like that. All right. So that's kind of the music. Nothing special to it, although I think it's really way cool. Right. I like that one the best because you could sit down and you could spend hours just coming up with music. All right. Talk a little bit about. I want to talk about audio, and then I want to get back to the image generation and the Google Gemini because I think that is the coolest ones. All right, I'm not going to play this again because you can't hear it. But notice that it gave me two different options. What do I want to do? I can open it up. I can create more. Again, it's in future night schools. Also, if you're interested, we'll go ahead and set it up so you can hear the audio. Try your own things. Just go out there and play with it. There are free tiers. You get to do like a handful of different songs. Again, I got the lowest tier, whatever that is. I use it to play with most of the time just for fun, for friends and family. So, or to give me ideas, right? Lyrics or whatever. So there's music generation. Let's talk about what was I going to say? Oh yeah, music. So bear with me a second here. Oh look, we're still on that. But I want to look for something here real quick. Okay, let's go to. I want to talk a little bit about voice generation because that's a big deal, right? I don't know what's in here right now. So basically, this is kind of like the de facto, and again, because you can't really hear the audio, I'm not going to get a whole lot into it, but 11 Labs is kind of the premier audio text-to-speech voice changer. They've done some other stuff too, but pretty much what they're known for is text-to-speech. So you can put in, let me see if I've got something, I don't know what I have in there. Sorry guys, I do some commercial work, so I want to make sure I don't have anything in there that shouldn't be in there. Yeah. All right. There. So here's where I would go ahead and I would put in a prompt. I would go ahead and I would pick one of the different voices that are in here. Again, I use this to kind of play with to get an idea of a sound because sometimes there is a sound that I can't recreate, but for the most part, it gives me something to say, what would this sound like, right? So if you're doing this and it's for commercial work, you can't use it unless you have a commercial license. So understand that there's a lot of stuff you can do. You can do it for your own shows, your own displays, but you can't use it for commercial purposes where you're making money on it without having the right license. They own the rights to the generation. So there's lots of voices out there. You can go and you can look. You can also do a lot of their work. Their money comes from commercial work, mostly like voice messaging, things like that. So that's where they're making their money from, and from people just playing around with it. Again, you get credits, and every time you generate something, whether you like it or not, it's going to use credits. So at the end of the day, Again, I do a lot of voice work, but people will use this to do their own voiceover work, their own audio work, commercial. That's great. Again, just keep in mind the other thing with AI audio. There's two things. One is there are watermarks in there. They're digital watermarks for every voice that's created through a company like this. So a lot of times what you'll see is if I pick this guy, let me see if it has information. It's talking to me now. They'll have a voice ID, right? So there's a voice ID, and I don't know what that is. So what I'll do is, because everything gets tracked, right? And I think that's the key. Let me see what it pasted. There we go, right? So there's a digital signature. So every time you use one of these voices on a site or any other site, any other A site, there's a serial number that goes along with that, and that's how they can identify digital. Digital rights DRM. You guys have probably heard about it. If you haven't heard about it, you have. That's how our audio gets blocked on YouTube, how it gets blocked on Vimeo and all of our Vimeo, Facebook. It's all this DRM, digital rights management stuff. Trust me, everything out there, like what I just showed you, Suno, Udio, this, same thing. Everything, unless you have a creative license or a commercial license that you pay for, they still own the rights to it just because you created it. So feel free to use it for your own use. But if you try to use it for sales. So again, 11 Labs, I'll get more into it in a future video. They've started to add new things, image and video on here. They do these, like I said, they do these avatar. No, they don't do avatars in here. That's the other one. But again, they do music. You can do dubbing. So you can also take any audio you have and you can have it transcribed into multiple languages. There's other things, so you can do sound effects, music, whatever. Some of this stuff is just boilerplate. Let's just find a way to make additional money. But you can generate scripts. I mean, so there's different things you can use it for. Again, everything has a cost. But if you're going to use any kind of voice tool out there, I think 11 Labs is still the premier. There's Revoicer. There's several out there. But 11 Labs is the one that I think is probably the best. So that's it for audio and voice. And again, we can get more into that in future. There's really not a whole lot with it, except you can either use a recorded voice, recorded audio, and use one of their voices to recreate that, or you can do text to speech. So most of these YouTube videos now that you hear is a combination of AI generated voice with AI generated video. So let's go into the one I really wanted to show you guys because it's somewhat new. And again, if there's any questions, please ask. Certainly glad to answer them. But let's go into Google Gemini, which is the newest. I don't know if you guys have heard of Gemini before, but if you've heard the term nano banana, that's Google Gemini, right? Gemini is kind of, so again, Nano Banana is used in Gemini is used in a lot of different tools, but Nano Banana is the de facto for imaging. So you notice it's got the little banana in there. Okay, so I don't have an image, but these are some of the things you can do. Create an image of my own custom minifigure. Create an image of a superhero, of an 80s style makeover. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just find... Okay, let's look at that head. Whose head is that? Let's take an image. I'm going to create an image of me as a superhero. Please upload a selfie. Let's see, where does it give me I don't know if it lets, there we go. Let's look at Bobby. Let's look at Bobby as a superhero. Sorry, Bobby.
No, it's all good.
Well, let's see what it does. Let's see if it actually does you as a superhero.
I did one where it was Terminator.
Oh, Terminator. Yeah, I saw that one. That was pretty cool too. So there you go. I mean, that's pretty awesome, right? All right, let's do this. Create images. Let's let's same image, but with a mullet. I think I spelled mullet right. So again, Gemini is like the #1 de facto. I like Midjourney. I still use Midjourney, but I'm really starting to now. What's cool is it took the same exact image and he gave him a mullet. Now I'm going to take this image and I'm going to say create the original image with a mullet. So now it should go back to the original image and put a mullet on Bobby. I think that's for, it just said any superhero, right? So to use original image, but expand picture, expand picture. Let's see what it does. And again, this is all AI. It's all generative. It's picking it up from other information that it has. Not too shabby. What do you think, Bobby? I mean, the image, the logo's a little long, but they kept your mullet. They even got you with the PPD shirt. Look at that. They're right there. But that's not too bad, right?
It kind of knows where difference. I mean, it is a bowl that was in, but
yeah. But I mean, but it doesn't know that, right?
Though. Yeah,
so add. Let's see. Add F-16 fighter jets. Fighter jets in the background. I mean, you could do anything with this. I'm just showing you that from an image perspective. Gemini, and right now I think they're giving you like free images and stuff. Again, they give it to you free. They get you hooked. There's your fighter jets, and then let's see, add the Bills coming on to the field to meet Bobby. So again, you can take any image, you can make changes to it, you can look at things, you can change the background. I could change the background on that and make it, make them at the beach. I can make them, they're all coming to see, well, I think they're going the other way, Bobby. It looks like they may have a stretcher too. I don't know, but okay. So again, this is the power, and there's different, so they always give you different versions to different features, right? So this one here is you could do, remember we were talking about code and math. You can go to AI Pro again for a fee. Gemini, I could do a whole thing on Gemini, and I'm just scratching the surface with it. I started playing with it a few months ago, and it'll come back for you, and it'll say, hey, if you want to do this, like if you ask it questions, it's gonna give you more. You can actually create code with this thing, so you can tell it to create create code. I'm going to change this here from image. I'm going to change the tools to canvas here for a second. So now it's going to make a chat, right, in canvas. So again, I'm going to, build a fireworks generator. I don't even know what that is. It's just a generic prompt. Everything again is a prompt. Look at that. I love the real-time fireworks simulator. It's a great way to show off the power of HTML, Canvas, and JavaScript. It just created the code for me. See if this works. It says click or tap anywhere to do fireworks. I don't know if it's actually going to work or not. But technically it should. It's not working here, but I don't know why. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's just, it doesn't want to work right now. But I could ask it to do anything. I could tell generate. I'm not going to tell generate code for. Actually, let's see if it'll generate generate XML for an X-Light sequence. X-Lights sequence. Let's see if it knows anything about X-Lights. It probably doesn't. It might know what Xlights is. There's a great request, generating a proper Xlight sequence XML requiring knowing the specifics of your layout and timing. Since I don't have that, I'm providing generic structurally correct XML file. Frame rate of 40 frames per second, sequence of 10 seconds, 2 generic models named House Light, Line, and Megatree. 3 simple effects added to the structure. You'll need to adjust the file path. I don't have time right now to put this into it, but I'm actually going to try this. It's already set up where you can put in your music. It's created 2 generic. So there it is, guys. I mean, I don't know. Does it work? Does it not work? I have no idea, but it thinks it's right. So can you create sequences with code like this? Not yet. I saw somebody was actually starting to look into that. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know anything about it, but I think that's pretty cool. So see, even Bobby, even you can become a sequencer that fast, right? AI Bobby, Xlight sequences.
I do just great with my whole house butterfly. What's Sparkle?
Hey, I know a guy. It's Sparkle. No, we haven't done the Sparkle yet, but I like that. So kind of, this is kind of, I mean, Gemini is kind of the tool right now to play with, and it's in a lot of things. Or Nano Banana, sorry. So Nano Banana is really kind of the thing. Guided learning, deep research. There's so many different things you can do with this. What do you want to learn? I'm going to close this out. You can learn stuff, right? I mean, you can certainly say, I want to learn about. Tell me about Xlights around. Actually, tell me how to win the Great Christmas. I hear Disney knocking at my door now. Light fight. Let's see what it says. How do I win the Great Christmas light fight? Let's see. To take home a trophy, you must excel in the areas that the judge. Stop. Go away. We've got Tanya, Carter, and others. Originally designed technical mastery. Here we go. Judges see dozens of houses. Unique theme. Here you go, guys. It's telling you how to win. What do you got to have? Flawless synchronization, 3-dimensional scale, power of a megaprop. Okay. Emotional impact and spirit. In other words, you got to have the sob story. You could go deeper into this, but it knows what Great Christmas Light Fight is. You could actually say how many lights do I need? How many pixels do I need to win Great Christmas Light Fight? Let's see if it even knows how many pixels. 5 is probably what you need. I don't know the answer to that. There you go. Okay. There, to be serious, 50,000. Most grand prize winners often exceed 100,000. There you go. So if you want to win the grand prize, if you want to get the trophy, it's 100,000. That's the number, Bobby. There you go.
So let's do the math on this then. They say it costs $1 a pixel for all the stuff that you need to do the show, or your show.
Yeah.
It will cost you 100,000 to win 50,000.
Absolutely, but you get the trophy. That's the bragging rights.
The bragging rights, yes.
Most of the people end up in the competitors group, and there's many more of those. So if nothing else, for your $100,000 or more, you get to be part of that elite group. So either way, it's a win-win.
I'll say this being in either group is an honor.
So again, I'm going to kind of close it out here. I know we're a little over an hour, and I appreciate everybody's diligence on this. And like I said, I think this is always fun when it's interactive because there's so much you can do with it. And I could try to come up with some ideas to use, but really, I like to know what other people are looking for because you throw it in there and you never know what you're going to come up with, right? But I think this is pretty cool. It even tells me what pixels is, right? So I think that the AI out there is getting better and better every day. I mean, they're coming out with more. If you go to Microsoft, right? So if you go to what is their tool? Copilot, right? Copilot is everywhere. That's the other one. So Copilot is the same, similar. I won't say it's the same. It's similar to Gemini. There's a lot of things you can do with Copilot. I will tell, like for my work, they built. They're basically using a internal version of Copilot. To be honest, I think that I think that Gemini is a much better AI tool, in my opinion. I think Google did a lot better job with it. It's not to say that Copilot doesn't have all the same things that you can do. I just think it's a lot more intuitive. The interface is more like a ChatGPT interface. Oh, let's see. Oh, look, we still don't have an image. About that. So something happened with the image. Who knows? We'll stop that. But if I was going to say, because you're going to get Copilot, it's going to come up. Here's images that you can get with that. I have no idea who created a little mouse there. That's cool. Again, you've seen these before, right? Same thing with Midjourney. Same thing with all of them. They all use the same back end, right? So that's why they look familiar. But at the end of the day, it's whatever tool you're comfortable with and gives you what you want. So for images, I use Midjourney and I use Copilot sometimes. For ideas, I'll use ChatGPT quite often. Started playing, like I said, with Gemini, with Nano Banana. Look up Nano Banana. Just there's tons of information out there, and there's legitimate uses for this. There's actually real professional business case uses for AI, and that's how they get people using it. Because nobody wants to sit there and go to work and go into AI and do all this stuff that have to create all these prompts and get graded on it. But when you go home, you want to do things. You want to create images. You want to create music. You want to do all these cool, fun things. And that's how these tools learn. And so are they making money on you spending your 10 or 20 bucks a month? No, not really. Are they making money on the businesses who are using this and they're spending, double and triple digits for the capabilities and the technologies? Absolutely. So, I think some of the stuff we're seeing today by next year will be obsolete. I think that you won't be able to tell. I can't tell if I saw this image right now without looking at a watermark. And you can tell, you can look at an image because all images again have a watermark. You can't tell by looking at an image today whether it's AI or whether it's real. I would challenge you to look at any of these images, some of them you can, right? But I would challenge you on a lot of like this one here. Okay. I have no idea what the prompt was for this one. You can usually look. It'll tell you what the prompt. Create a portrait of a young woman dressed in a bohemian style. And then we'll close out here, guys, because I know we're getting long. Eclectic in nature shot, Canon EOS R5 with 85 millimeter lens, blah, 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 right? 8K resolution. So it now used to do it in cinematic and 4K. I would challenge anyone to tell me whether this was a real picture or not. It's so hard to tell, right? So that's where, the whole audio, video, images, yes, there's watermarks in there, so technology can tell. People have ways of knowing, so please don't try to use an AI-generated product as your own without noting it's AI, especially when you're using it to make money because, again, if you don't have the right licensing, and I know I'm stressing that, but it's so important. Most of us don't. They're using it just for our own purpose, so who cares? But once you cross that line, then it becomes a different story. So, Bobby, I think that's what I've got for tonight. I've really kind of appreciated being asked on here. Hope to be able to come back again and do some more of this and get into some deep dive on some of the prompting and let's see what new cool things come out of AI in the coming months and into next year.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. I mean, the whole time you were on there, I was playing on all the things that you're doing. Creating,
and that's what happens is you get sucked into it, right? It's like, oh, this is cool. Let's try this. Let's do this. And you can, like I said, you can take images And you can actually, and here's something to try. If you've ever got like old images that you need to try to restore, like especially like from your parents and grandparents, you can actually import that. And again, Gemini, it'll actually work with restoring those images and making them look new, or taking a new image and making it look retro.
Yeah.
Now Bobby's going to be up all night. Yeah, I got to get up in the morning at 4 o'clock, but who knows? Maybe
my son and I put this picture of my son and I, him as a hero, me as a villain, and picture my son and I at the Hockey Hall of Fame, and then asking it to have a skating round holding the cup, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of cool, right? Like that. I mean, you can take anything, and that's why I like looking at what other people do too, because you can see the kind of prompts they use, right? And again, if you're looking at these prompts, and again, I know we get into this, but look at this. It's very basic. It just says, here's what I want to use to create this image, and it generates it. And I could change here roses. I could change them into whatever I want to, right? I can make them tennis balls, and it'll surround the dog with tennis balls and keep everything else the same. Cool stuff.
It is very cool. Well, again, thank you for coming on. This is our last episode for this year. We'll be coming back next year after the holidays, after everyone's hopefully everyone's show is taken down. I've yet to start putting up my shows.
Come on, Bobby.
I'm hoping I didn't miss the boat, because we have like let's see what is out there. It's about an inch right now out there, snow.
Really? I was going to joke about snow, but you guys actually have snow. No kidding.
And this is actually our first snowfall of the year. Normally we get it early mid-October. Just a little flurry, but no, we actually have some accumulation. I think we're projected to have maybe up to 5 inches of snow by the end of Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah, that's not much. I mean, I'm
so
more
no
worried
snow
about
day?
no snow days. I'm worried more about ice.
See, 5 inches of snow. Yeah, okay. So there'll be delays, right? Here where I am, you get half an inch of anything, and it's like everybody freaks out and they shut the city down. So
yeah, it's what it is. Well, for you.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, look, it's really been fun. I enjoyed it. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll talk to you later.
All right, see you everyone.
Cheers.
Well, that's it for tonight's lesson in light-based lunacy. So smash that subscribe button, zap a comment below, and share your worst tech fail. We might even feature it in the next class. Until then, stay lit, stay learning, and always remember to bring a backup SD card. Night School dismissed.